There, guys, welcome back to the Leeds lobby. Obviously, this previous sort of couple of 2 or 3 months, we've not really been doing an awful lot of videos. Although Dan has been doing the odd video. We do mean to get back into the routine of doing videos. It's just we've been quite busy with work, and Dan obviously revising at school for his mock, so obviously we've been taking a little bit of a break from it. Obviously, the season seems to have fallen apart. People sing about Leeds falling apart, and our season seems to have fallen apart. We've had Jesse Marsh, who's obviously since gone. We're in a situation where we've had Gracia in between.
4 managers this season, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had Scoobs, and now we've got Sam Allardyce. And I'll be honest with you, I was on social media a little bit, and I felt a lot of people talking about Sam Allardyce being delusional at his first press conference, which, again, I was quite interested in seeing some of the things that he was saying, because for me, he seemed to be looking to say things in order to take the emphasis off the players. Take
the pressure off the players.
Take the pressure off the players.
Yeah, he confirmed that in the press conference today, didn't he?
Yeah, and I had noticed, I had spotted that. The thing about it is, for me, he's got to shake things up. He has to shake things up. He has to bring some kind of change.
I think he will, because he was saying in the press conference a lot, Newcastle. He kept repeating himself. He kept saying Newcastle are a very different team to City. We've got to handle them differently. The way we played semi-worked against City, it's sort of we kept them out. We got a goal. We kept the scoreline respectable. But Newcastle are a very different team. They play, obviously City they're both possession-based teams, but it's what they do in possession and how they move the ball about, what sort of passages of play they got, what players they send the ball through. So it's obviously going to be different how we handle that.
I think the thing is, what we've got to bear in mind is, right about now, Southampton are relegated. That's pretty much a fact now.
Yeah.
Then there's going to be 2 teams from either Everton, Leicester, Leeds, and Forest.
Yeah.
So ultimately, out of those 4 teams, we have to finish. The best out of those 4 teams.
Yeah.
There's only one team out of the 4 that's got a better goal difference than us, and that's Leicester. Although Leicester seem to have the worst form of all the teams. So if I was a betting man, I would say that Leicester are actually probably going more than likely going to finish below Leeds, which leaves Forest, Everton and Leeds. Forest, as we know, they beat Southampton at home. But obviously what you have to bear in mind is that they're playing the bottom of the league, and also Forest have got this half-right home form. Their away form is awful. Now, who's Forest's remaining fixtures now?
Forest have now got to play Chelsea, they've got to play Arsenal, and they've got to play Crystal Palace away.
So you have to say, bearing in mind Forest's points have all been coming from home fixtures. They've got Chelsea and they've got Arsenal to play at home.
Chelsea are on poor form as well, though, to be fair.
Palace are picking up a little bit of form.
Palace are on good form. It's Arsenal that we should be looking at Arsenal winning that.
I would be, if I was a betting man, I would say that Forest aren't going to pick any more points up. Obviously, I have been wrong. This season has been so fraught with twists and turns. I'd like to say that Forest aren't going to pick any further points up. What about Leicester? What were their remaining fixtures?
Honestly, I can't remember. I can pull them up on my phone.
Yeah, let's have a quick
I know Everton have City, Bournemouth and Wolves.
City, Bournemouth and Wolves. They're not going to pick anything up from City. Bournemouth, again, are another team that's finding a little bit of form. Wolves also are a team that's finding a little bit of form.
Leicester have Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham.
Have you got who?
Liverpool, Newcastle and West Ham.
Liverpool, Newcastle and West Ham. So they've got Newcastle and West Ham. We've got Newcastle and West Ham. I think but we've got Newcastle and West Ham at home, haven't we? Have they got?
We've got Newcastle at Elland Road and West Ham at the London Stadium.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, guys, it is still all up in the air. It's still all for grabs.
If we win tomorrow, then obviously because we've got a better goal difference in Forest and Everton, they've obviously got to play City and Chelsea. So if we do win tomorrow and they both lose, which is expected, then we're right back in it. And Sam Allardyce was obviously saying in his conference earlier, a success would be to still be in it on the final day. Now, the plan is to still be in the fight on the final day.
Yeah, and I think that there's been some highlights and the lowlights of this season. I think there have been some shining lights this season, and there've been some players that have come in and performed. And I think losing those players and losing some of those players at consider, at really important times has been a real bane for Leeds United. We've looked so much better with Voba in defence, and for me, he's been somebody that has made a massive difference. Now you couple that with Meslier being awful this last run of games. You've got to look at it and you've got to see that Voba being out of the side for that pivotal period where did we play Palace and he was out the side?
Yeah, we played Palace, Liverpool.
And that's where we started leaking goals again. The amount of clearances this guy makes. And I think if we'd have had a fit Voba, I think we would have picked more points
blocks,
up.
doesn't he? He blocks, he stops, keeps the ball out the net. You could stick him in net, to be fair.
Probably do a better job than Meslier. Stick him in net, to be fair. I think for me, losing Tyler Adams has been absolutely
obviously
massive.
the rumours are that he could be back for the last 2 games, but I don't.
That's not happening. I don't think that's happening. But you
know
know what? I think that's another thing. You've got to kind of bear in mind the Sam effect. I think he's come in and he's seeing a team that's letting in 4 or 5 goals every single game, and he's thought, right, I need to come in like a wrecking ball, and I need to make certain changes, and I need to really, really ruffle some feathers. So the first thing I've got to do is I've got to get the pressure off these players. And Mourinho used to do it. Alex Ferguson used to do it.
He said he learned it from Fergie.
And what it is it just buys them a little bit of breathing space. We've got definite confidence players in that team. Harrison's a confidence player. Bamford's a confidence player. Bamford again has been awful. He's probably cost us. It's cost us points at Arsenal earlier on in the season.
Cost us points at Leicester.
Back post, just tap-ins. And for me, I would be happy if I never saw him in a Leeds shirt.
Having said that, he is actually picking up some form, obviously. Under Grazia's tenure, he scored in
1 goal.
He didn't. He scored against Palace, scored against Brighton, scored against Bournemouth.
Scored against Palace, Brighton and Bournemouth.
And early on in the season, he scored against Villa. He got 2 assists and 2 goals against Cardiff.
It just needs so many opportunities in order to score. It's like like in this world where people talk about equal and opposite reactions. For every Erling Haaland, you've got a Bamford.
Yeah.
For every Jurgen Klopp, you've got a Frank Lampard. Do you know what I mean? How on earth is that guy still being talked about for some of the top jobs? Frank Lampard is awful.
No, I don't think he's going to get a job after Chelsea, really, is he? I don't even know how he's still managing at Chelsea. My initial thought was, they sacked Potter a day after they bought for Lampard, and a day after Brendan Rodgers got the sack. Why wouldn't you take a punt on what's his name? What was his assistant?
Who's assistant?
Rodgers' assistant. What's his name?
Who's assistant?
Brendan Rodgers' assistant last year. He played for Chelsea. John Terry, that's his name. Why wouldn't you take a punt at John Terry? Because with Lampard, you know what you're going to get. But anyway, this is a video about Leeds, were we?
They're bothered about whether it'd be having it away with Chairman's wife.
Yeah. So
disclaimer.
Yeah. So what are we predicting for tomorrow then? What's the score predictions?
I'm
going to start off. I'm just going to say
we have to get something out of this game.
I'm going to stick my my 50p in the machine. I'm going to say I always call us to lose and we always lose. Now, you can look back at my season predictions video when I was pretty bob on with my predictions. Apart from watch the video back, I was calling some transfers that hadn't even happened, that never ended up happening. But
how many games have we got left? 3 games?
Yeah, I am going to say I said Tuchel and Lager would be the first managers to get sacked. I said Chelsea wouldn't get top 6. I said Liverpool would struggle. I said Leicester would struggle. I said West Ham would struggle. So, call me a prophet, but I'm going to say Leeds win 4-3. I always predict us to lose and we always lose, but I'm going to say Leeds win 4-3.
If Leeds win 4-3, I think I'll probably be doing laps of the house. 4-3 would be, for me,
Newcastle coming off the back of a 2-0 loss at Arsenal. They struggled against Southampton. Southampton did give them a game. It took them 3 last 10-minute goals to get it. Drawn with us earlier on in the season, drawn with West Ham. They are actually a struggling team at the minute. They're not a struggling team, but they're starting to show their true colours. What
we would give for 3 points right about now. 3 points right now would be a massive shot in the arm for us.
I just hope that the lads don't let me down, because I hope that they pull through and they know how important this game is. I do think it's going to be 4-3.
Who have we got still to play now? We've got West Ham coming up. We've got Tottenham at the end of the season. Tottenham, is that Ellen Road?
Yeah. My goal scorers.
We know prime Real Madrid, Tottenham's going to turn up and they're going to be absolutely awesome. Bearing in mind they've probably been crap.
My goal scorers.
Ruin the season.
My goal scorers are Rodrigo Brace, Jack Harrison, and Weston McKennie.
Weston McKennie to get on the score sheet. Okay.
Yeah, because I think the thinking behind that is, when the ball comes out from a corner and he usually sort of tries to hit it on the volley, or he sort of stands outside the box to try and hit it in when it comes out. Newcastle, if you watch back some of their games, they normally don't put a man on the edge of the box for a corner. So that's my thinking, that the ball's going to come out. He's going to have enough space to get his feet right and to score this time.
There's talk of Matteo Joseph playing for Leeds at the weekend.
I think Archie Gray will make his debut before the end of the season. I think that Big Sam wants to give the opportunities. I mean, he was asked about Archie Gray in the press conference. He said there's no doubt he's got the ability and he's got the skill to play in the Premier League, but it's just whether he can rise to the occasion, whether he's ready for the pressure.
I think what's interesting is Big Sam, bearing in mind we know he's in here for 4 games, he's not expecting to be here any longer and he's after a payoff at the end of the season. If Leeds stay up, I do think it's highly unlikely that he's going to continue. If we go down, it's still equally unlikely that he's going to continue.
Yeah, I don't.
So he's not bothered about making friends. What I will say is, here's a guy that's dropped Meslier, which seemed like a very brave move. And I can actually see him just dropping Bamford.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest with you, I'm hoping he does. I don't think it's going to do Leeds any harm, because I don't think Bamford's going to be the person that's going to save us. But what I'm interested in knowing is why Rutter's not been given any time. But anyone we've bought him for upwards of 40 million, why is this guy not actually featuring at all?
I think he was another. Hoffenheim were absolutely geniuses by selling him, if you think about it. And I do think that he's a quality player. I really rate Rutter. I think a lot of people get a bee in their bonnet because he's not scoring, but he does look like more of an attacking midfielder, second striker. Similar to that, I would say similar to that, but we've not really got a player like him. I think the way he drives forward with the ball is absolutely top quality. I just think that it's that end product. I think where we got linked with him initially, and obviously Fabrizio was posted saying Leeds are interested in him and stuff. Hoffenheim came out and tweeted, Rutter will not be part of any further match days for the rest of the month and will not be featured in training because of interest from a Premier League club. And obviously that put the pressure on Leeds now, because things are serious now. We've got to follow through now. So I think we got stitched a little bit in the deal there, but obviously as Orta did.
Yeah. So obviously my prediction. I'd like to go with your prediction. I don't, at this moment in time, I can't bear to think about what happens if we lose this game.
Yeah.
We have to pick up something from this game. We have to get at least a draw to stay in touch with the other teams. I'm hoping that by the end of the weekend we'll be out of the relegation zone. We won't be in the bottom 3, but it all depends. It all depends where this Newcastle game goes and how we play, and. So that's kind of it really. So that's our predictions.
Yeah. What's your score prediction?
I'm going to go with you. I'm going to say 4-3, because I'm hoping if we both agree, because we never agree on anything. If we actually agree, we might actually get that result, and that might save us.
Well, obviously you've got to go, but I can stay. I'll just run through my predicted lineups and everything. Sorry, Mum's just come home. Dad's got to go and help her. We've obviously got predicted lineup. My predicted lineup is Robles in net. I've actually got it noted down here, I think. My predicted lineup is Robles in goal, because obviously he's dropped Meslier. I've noted down my predicted lineup. I think it's going to be Firpo, Verba, Christensen, Ayling. So I think Christensen's going to drop in at centre-back, or Ayling, one of the two. McKennie, Rocker and Forshaw in the middle. I do think he's going to go with that 4-3-3. Harrison, Nonto and Rodrigo up front. That's what my prediction is. I think Harrison's gonna get one, because obviously you see, I don't get people saying he's a big game player. He's not. He didn't show up against Bournemouth. He didn't show up against Palace. He doesn't show up in the big games. He doesn't show up in the small games. He shows up when he wants. I think because there's a lot being asked of him. Let me just turn this light on. Because there's a lot being asked of him. Maybe he'll come through for us this time. Maybe he won't. I think it's going to be Harrison, Rodrigo at the double, and like I said, I think McKennie's going to smash one in from a corner. If not, then we lose, and if we lose, I think that we're pretty much down. My prediction for first to score is Rodrigo. I think for Newcastle, it's going to be Anthony Gordon double and Callum Wilson, because obviously Anthony Gordon only 3 goals this season, and we are the gift that keeps on giving in terms of players like that. So that's the predictions. Put your prediction down in the comments, and just for another video later on, would you mind just putting next season, provided Big Sam goes, the manager that you would get to take Leeds forward? Just throw a name in the hat, and we're looking at doing a video discussing some of those potential manager replacements. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Subscribe and like, please. Leeds.